everyone. First off, thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules. We're excited to share our recommendations on how to make a real impact when it comes to finding and hiring the best talent for Stylebox. Today, we'll be walking you through our brand new candidate selection system, designed to make the process smarter, faster, and more inclusive for everyone involved. Created by Advisory and Joint Consulting Solutions, measuring potential, maximizing performance. Advisory and Joint Consulting Solutions, AJCS, is a mid-sized firm that delivers the personalized attention of a boutique consultancy. We are known for our tailored selection systems. Our team of 400 professionals and subject matter experts support a broad spectrum of business needs, from core selection strategies to full-scale performance management solutions. As a personable firm, our goal at AJCS is to promote a culture of collaboration, full transparency, and scientific integrity to center our efforts towards solving clients' problems worldwide. At AJCS, we specialize in designing selection system solutions for companies expanding beyond the United States, providing a deep understanding of global workforce diversity and cultural nuances. Our team reflects a broad range of backgrounds and international expertise, allowing us to craft hiring systems that are both locally relevant and globally consistent. As a culturally competent partner, we ensure our solutions align with regional norms, legal standards, and business practices, helping clients build effective, inclusive teams across borders. Our team brings together a diverse set of expertise, including advanced degrees in data analytics, statistics, organizational behavior, business administration, computer science, software engineering, applied ethics, and industrial organizational psychology. Our expertise empowers us to deliver solutions that advance companies who now lead in their respective global markets. I'm going to let my colleague Amber take it away from here.
Thanks, Josephine. Stylebox seeks to hire 1,700 new stylists using a customized selection system that is to be implemented at their United States and Germany locations as part of their organized expansion. The system must effectively identify qualified candidates while ensuring a positive experience. Stylebox emphasized their need for a tailored selection system to provide candidates that would increase their organizational performance, one portion of the selection process administered online. The contract for implementing the new, specifically tailored selection system is set to commence 4 months from the proposal request. To support Stylebox's hiring goals and international expansion, AJCS will design and implement a customized selection system aligned with their needs. Our wide array of experts will work closely with Stylebox's stakeholders to create a fair and efficient hiring process, providing a positive experience to candidates. To do so, we will break up the process into 6 steps: conducting a work analysis, artificial intelligence resume parsing, administering a cognitive assessment, conducting structured interviews, performing reference checks, and developing candidate portfolios. At AJCS, we will implement a new tailored selection system at Stylebox that has the capacity to effectively scale the hiring process to add 1,700 new stylists. We recommend conducting a work analysis as the first step in developing a selection system to fully understand the knowledge, skills, abilities, and tasks required of a stylist. First, we will implement job observation methods by directly observing stylists in their work environment. This will allow us to examine their day-to-day tasks, interactions, and use of tools and technology. Next, we will conduct interviews with subject matter experts, or SMEs. SMEs will validate the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics, or KSAOs, necessary to perform these tasks. We plan to conduct SME interviews with experienced stylists, supervisors, and managers to help us gain different perspectives on the stylist role and its challenges. This will provide a comprehensive understanding of the role at StyleBox. Finally, we will distribute job analysis surveys to stylists at both the United States and Germany StyleBox locations. This will provide measurable data, allowing us to identify patterns and trends while ensuring our findings reflect the role and improve the recruitment and selection process for potential candidates. Next, AI resume parsing will aid in identifying key terms within a resume to measure an applicant's skills, such as their communication skills, people skills, leadership skills, managerial skills, critical thinking, and industry and brand knowledge. Keywords associated with KSAOs previously identified during the work analysis will be used to select resumes. The AI program will utilize a wide range of keywords associated with each KSAO to ensure that all qualified applicants advance to the next stage and reject resumes that do not. The filtration of resumes utilizing AI will establish an effective and fair method for parsing through resumes that do not contain any keywords associated with the KSAOs required to be successful as a stylist at StyleBox. Utilizing AI will also lessen the time needed to review resumes, decreasing the possibility of human bias as it helps to identify candidates with relevant skills. To support StyleBox's store expansion within Germany and ensure a fair and inclusive hiring process, HACS will train our AI model using a diverse data set that spans multiple countries, languages, educational systems, resume formats, and regional job titles. This approach helps the system recognize and fairly evaluate candidates from various backgrounds while minimizing cultural and regional bias. Following training, we will test the model across our international locations using resumes and data from current employees to evaluate its accuracy and fairness. Based on the results, we will modify the AI program to ensure consistent, unbiased selection of resumes across divergent backgrounds. My colleague Chris will now discuss the next steps.
Thank you, Amber. Next, we will create an online cognitive assessment that will consist of a virtual simulation of job-relevant tasks where candidates must apply their industry and brand knowledge. We will ensure that each task is designed to elicit behaviors that reflect this targeted KSAO. For example, interacting with clients and coworkers will assess communication skills. Styling a client will assess personalized styling abilities. Providing product recommendations for clients will test their knowledge of industry trends and brands. And conflict resolution scenarios will test their problem-solving and interpersonal skills. The simulation will involve both behavior-based and results-based components. We will conduct a pilot study with a small group of current StyleBox stylists to evaluate the difficulty of each task. Their performance scores and feedback will help us refine cognitive assessment to ensure that the tasks within the assessment accurately mirror tasks completed at StyleBox. To analyze each task and its effectiveness, we will use item response theory, or IRT, to determine how well each item distinguishes between top and low performing candidates, while also identifying any potential bias, such as measurement bias, guessing bias, discrimination, and more. IRT additionally measures a person's underlying traits or abilities by analyzing how they respond to individual test items, taking into account factors like item difficulty and discrimination. Based on the pilot data and IRT results, we will finalize the test by selecting tasks that reliably measure industry and brand knowledge with varying levels of difficulty and all potential biases removed. As StyleBox and the fashion industry continue to evolve, we will regularly revisit the assessment to determine if there are any updates needed regarding fashion trends, daily tasks, and radar training. Ongoing revision of assessment items, reviewing for bias, and maintaining high levels of reliability and validation will keep the test aligned with the evolving role and the skills new hires need to succeed. Next, we will be conducting structured interviews with bars. Structured interviews will be used to assess which candidates are the best overall fit for StyleBox by identifying job-specific skills essential to the role. Using the information obtained from the work analysis, we will create experience-based interview questions to gain a better understanding of the applicant's previous experiences within their workplace. These questions will be presented to subject matter experts so that they can assist in developing a behaviorally anchored rating scale, or BARS. BARS ensures that the experience-based interview questions clearly and effectively assess the intended KSAOs. Once the rating scale is developed, each interviewer will be trained on the interview questions, coinciding scales, and how to appropriately rate candidates' answers. The rating scale will assign numerical values to the interview responses, using bars to generate consistent data that supports a more informed and objective candidate selection process for StyleBox. Here we can see an example of bars and how it will be utilized during the interview process. It consists of both verbal and numerical anchors that provide the rater with a foundation on how to rate the performance of each applicant. Point scales located above each rating description explain how much each rating is worth out of a total number of points for each level of competency. The rubric provides an explanation of the requirements for stylists to gain points in each category so that the raters can make their determination on how the applicant's performing corresponds to each description. Rating scales will be used for AI resume parsing, the cognitive assessment, and reference checks in addition to the interview. Speaking of reference checks, as part of AJCS's candidate selection system, AJCS will conduct reference checks to validate the observed KSAOs from the selection process. Reference checks will be utilized to gain additional insights into a candidate's past performance, professionalism, and work ethic. Each candidate will be required to provide at least one reference from professional sources such as previous supervisors or managers, volunteer supervisors, freelance or contract clients, or any other individual who has overseen the candidate in a professional capacity. In addition, these references must be willing to provide their open and honest feedback about the candidate. While only one reference is mandatory, candidates are encouraged to submit multiple references to provide a more well-rounded view of their qualifications and experiences. I will be passing the mic to my colleague, Sheena.
Thanks, Chris. So once candidates have advanced through each phase, they will have their results compiled into a candidate portfolio. This final stage is designed to provide hiring managers with a side-by-side comparison of each candidate's qualifications, the relevant KSAOs, and any areas that need development to ensure StyleBox selects candidates tailored to their own needs. This portfolio will include the results from the AI resume parsing, scores from the online cognitive assessment, ratings from the structured interviews, and responses from reference checks. As StyleBox and the fashion industry continue to evolve, we will regularly revisit the assessment to determine if any updates are needed regarding fashion trends, daily tasks, and rater training. Ongoing revision of assessment items, reviewing for bias, and maintaining any high levels of reliability and validation will keep the test aligned with the evolving role and the skills that new hires need to succeed. We will also ask subject matter experts to review the questions periodically to ensure that they continue to measure the intended KSAOs. The selection and assessment process relative to an individual applicant is expected to take 5 to 9 weeks to complete, given that the job analysis and creation of the cognitive assessment have already been completed. When utilizing our AI resume parsing program, we will take up to 9 seconds for one resume to be reviewed, and if the applicant is selected to move on to the next phase of the selection process, they will be sent a cognitive assessment. The candidate will have up to 1 week to complete it online. We anticipate that it will take between 2 and 4 weeks to schedule and conduct the structured interview. While waiting for the interview to take place, reference checks will be completed within 2 to 4 week time frame. Once the candidate has been through the entirety of the selection process, we will develop their candidate portfolio. We anticipate that compiling this information will take approximately 2 weeks. It is important to acknowledge that StyleBox aims to hire 1,700 stylists throughout the United States and Germany locations. There will be several recruiters throughout both locations working on different stages for candidates simultaneously, executing the process in an efficient and timely manner. So in summary, our project goal was to design an empirically based, scalable selection system to consistently identify top-performing stylist candidates across the US and Germany. To do this, we incorporated multiple selection tools to identify the top candidates specifically tailored for StyleBox. We start with AI resume parsing, which filters applicants using keywords related to KSAOs that are determined by the work analysis. These specific KSAOs will help determine if an applicant will be successful in the stylist role at StyleBox. We will then utilize a cognitive assessment to measure the applicant's industry and brand knowledge. This KSAO is crucial when completing a multitude of tasks that are identified when shadowing current employees and talking about subject matter experts about their day-to-day tasks at Stylebox. Structured interviews using behaviorally anchored rating scales will be developed to objectively measure the targeted KSAOs, enabling raters to easily compare the one candidate to another in an objective manner. The last stage of the selection process is conducting work-related reference checks to confirm KSAOs previously identified in the candidate. To ensure fairness and validity, we will utilize a customized bars to objectively and numerically rate all candidates equally, emphasize rater training to uniformly judge candidates off the same criteria, perform regular updates to the selection system based on evolving job demands, and look for the same KSAOs that determine job performance in all candidates. Our services at AJCS will allow Stylebox to select the best-selling prospects based on empirical evidence, which will allow your company to continue to grow in popularity among the global consumer base, resulting in a competitive advantage in the styling industry.